Ember was a young dragon born under a crescent moon, unlike any dragon his mountain clan had ever seen, while his brothers and sisters practiced earth-shaking roars that echoed through the valleys, sending birds scattering in panic. Ember only managed soft puffs of steam that condensed into tiny, glittering snowflakes while they thrilled at belching great plumes of fire that lit up the night sky. Ember could only produce gentle, warm glows, just enough to read by his parents. Mighty dragons with scales like polished obsidian sighed deeply. A dragon must be heard. A dragon must command respect with thunder. They would rumble, their voices vibrating the very stones of their cavern home. Ember would shrink back, his small, shimmering blue scales seeming duller under their disappointed gaze, wishing more than anything for the world to be hushed, for the beauty of a silent snowfall, or the quiet rustle of wind through pines one crisp autumn evening. After a particularly loud display of fiery prowess that left his ears ringing and his heart aching, Ember made a quiet decision. He unfurled his leathery wings, surprisingly delicate for a dragon, and slipped away from the bustling, noisy caverns while the others slept. He flew not towards the bustling villages below, where noise surely reigned, but higher, towards the lonely, snow-dusted peaks where the air was thin and pure. He found a secluded ledge overlooking a hidden valley, carpeted in untouched snow and dotted with ancient, silent trees. Here, the only sounds were the soft sigh of the wind and the occasional distant chime of falling ice. Ember curled up, tucking his tail neatly, and breathed a sigh of pure relief. This was his sanctuary, a place where his quiet nature felt like a gift, not a flaw. In this peaceful valley, Ember discovered companions who understood silence. He watched a lone gray owl, its wings making no sound at all as it glided through the velvet darkness. Hunting only by moonlight, he observed a wise old badger patiently digging for roots, its movements slow and deliberate, communicating with soft grunts and gentle nudges to its cubs. He learned the language of the stars, vast and wordless, sparkling messages across the infinite quiet. He spent hours listening to the frozen creek whisper secrets beneath its icy blanket. He discovered the profound comfort of simply being, without the pressure to perform, to roar, to shatter the stillness. His gentle glow became a soft beacon in the night, unnoticed by the world below, but perfect for illuminating the intricate patterns of frost on pine needles. Months passed peacefully in Ember's high retreat. One bitterly cold night, however, a deep, ominous groan echoed through the mountains, far louder and more terrifying than any dragon's roar. A colossal avalanche had been triggered on the far peak, thundering down towards the lower slopes where Ember knew his clan's main caverns lay nestled. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced his heart. He thought of his parents, his noisy siblings, the hatchlings sleeping soundly in the nursery caves deep within the mountain. Without a single roar, without a fiery display, Ember launched himself into the frigid air. Driven by pure, desperate love, he flew faster than he ever had, the wind screaming past his ears, his small body straining against the gale, a tiny blue streak against the moonlit snow. He reached the avalanche path just as the monstrous wave of snow and rock threatened to engulf the cavern entrances. Panic surged, but then Ember remembered his fire, not the roaring inferno of his kin, but his own fire. Focusing all his will, all his love for his family, he drew a deep, deep breath instead of a roar. A focused beam of intense, pure white heat erupted from his jaws. It wasn't loud. It was a silent, searing lance of energy. He swept it across the leading edge of the avalanche. Instantly, tons of snow vaporized into a vast cloud of steam that rose like a ghostly shield. The steam cloud billowed upwards, absorbing the momentum of the snow behind it, causing the avalanche to slow, then split, harmlessly diverting around the protected cavern entrances before finally settling with a heavy sigh. Far below, the silence that followed was profound. The rumbling ceased, replaced only by the settling hiss of steam and snow. Ember landed, exhausted, his sides heaving, his glow dimmed. The cavern entrances were clear from within. His clan emerged, blinking in shock at the wall of diverted snow and the dissipating steam. They saw Ember, small and trembling on the ledge. They saw the path his focused heat had carved. Understanding dawned slowly. replacing their initial confusion and fear. His mighty father stepped forward. His usual booming voice softened almost to a whisper. "Ember?" He rumbled gently. Was this you? You stopped the snow?" Ember, too tired to speak, simply nodded. A small plume of snowflakes escaping his nostrils, the dragons gathered around. Not with roaring praise, but with a new, deep respect that filled the quiet air. They saw the power in his silence, the strength in his focus. His mother nuzzled him gently. "My quiet flame," she murmured, her voice thick with emotion. "You saved us all with the fire only you possess." From that night on, Ember found his place. He became the Claneuro's silent guardian, the watcher on the high ledge. His brothers learned to appreciate the peace he brought. His sisters admired his gentle glow. He still loved his quiet valley, but now he also knew his gentle strength belonged right here. With his family, he discovered that true quiet wasn't about absence, but about a deep, inner peace that could hold immense power, warming the hearts of those he loved without a single, unnecessary roar. And as he watched the silent stars will overhead, a contented warmth spread through him, quieter than a whisper, brighter than any forced flame.